Good morning. Welcome to the Frequency and Faith channel. If you watch this and you're a new viewer, every morning around like 8 to 8:30 a.m. I have these like intellectual discussions. Basically, I'll usually read a text or I will just start going from my own knowledge base in my mind, things that are touching me at this certain point in my life and areas that I'm trying to contemplate and try to manifest a better utilization of facts and or opinions at the time to better interface with the world. And I'm trying to create a room where we all can get together, and I go live at 8 to 8:30 a.m. in order for us to build skills together and build the knowledge bases and the pools of knowledge in order to draw upon through the discussion of our differences in opinions or our life experiences or the ghost in our closets, to better interface with the world. Certain texts that I'll be pulling from will be, well, the Bible is one of them, psychological textbooks, maybe fiction stories as well, nonfiction, pretty much all over. But yeah, it's the day after Christmas. I hope your Christmas was well. Mine was great, actually. It's snowing right now, so it's like perfect weather. I uploaded a story yesterday wherein I said, the perfect Christmas for me would be if it snowed like on Christmas Day or that week, and then it just stopped. And I know it's the day after Christmas, but I think I'm still taking vacation day today, and so this is still perfect for me. And there wasn't any like family drama this time. There wasn't any. Not saying that there usually is family drama in my Christmases, but there has been in the past when I was younger. But as I've gotten older, that's subsided. But I do know that some people have Christmases that are just hell on earth, even if it doesn't look that way on the outside. And it's like I was talking to someone before Christmas. I was like, I was at the gym in the sauna, and I was talking to this dude, and it was like, people don't really care about the person coming that they don't want to see. They just care about the thing that they're bringing with them, right? The conversations they're bringing with them, the conversations that they hold for this one time a year, right? Or maybe conversations that are like deep embedded in them that normally in their everyday routine, they don't see the people that the conversations are about. Therefore, it doesn't really get drawn out of them. But during family gatherings, they're like, hey, I need to address this now because we're here together, kitty. And yeah, so I know Christmas can be difficult for some people, but it was fantastic here at my place, which was, God is good. It was amazing. And yesterday I was just talking about that story I uploaded. I went out and ran like I don't know how many miles, like 2 to 3 miles. It's very hilly where I am. And someone reached out to me after I posted that story from my hometown and was like, I'm happy for you, bud. It seems that you have found a peace. And on to say, no matter how hard I try, I can't find it. I think he stated that he climbs hills, or he gave a depiction of him moving upwards, but he would stumble back down no matter how hard he tries, right? And I'm still contemplating on what I want to respond to him specifically. And that really touched me yesterday because, yeah, I am more peaceful now than any other time in my life, but there's a cost to it. Like I was saying in my stories on social media yesterday, I was like, in social media, you only see stuff that people are wanting to share. They have to physically hit record themselves, and then put it on there, right? And most of the time, when people are when people are a victim to their own feelings, or in a scenario where their feelings are grasping a hold of them in a negative manner, they're not going to want to hit record, right? Usually you hit record because you have something that you want to share with the populace. And most people don't want to share something that's negative, right? Like if it's hurting them, most people don't want to share that with others. And not even from the sense of, you don't even have to think about it in the sense of people just being fake in as in they're just trying to present themselves in a not entirely not entirely accurate manner. They're just not wanting to share something that hurts, right? Like if you pick up a pot that's like boiling hot and it is like burning your hands, if you have like a buddy next to you, you're not just going to be like, take this, and give it to them because you don't want them to burn too, right? And so I think we don't really see a lot of the struggles that people go through in order to get to the places that we see on social media, but they happen. And I was describing how, you may have seen the piece that I had after I just got done running like two-ish, three-ish, probably, I don't know how many miles it was. I just seen it was snowing and I was going to go for my morning walk and I was like, I'll just go run. And probably like two-ish miles and it sucked. Like I think about it now and I'm like, I don't know how I ran that because the hills here are literally like this in some areas. And at the end of it, like there'd be times that I'm like screaming, literally screaming because I want to quit. It's like you don't really see that part of it, which is part of the cost of the peace that I have in my life. There's a cost to it. There's sacrifices to it. And I was stating that in those stories, and I was stating how, there's a social cost to building your knowledge base in a manner in which I do. When you're so passionate and obsessive about things, which it can be easy to contort that in a way that is very negative to you. And I gave the example of like, people want to hang out or stay past like 10 o'clock. It's like, usually I'm out, I'm dipping because I go to sleep at a certain time and I wake up at a certain time. And the times when I'm awake, I have times when I need to like build my knowledge bases, like I literally have told people, no, I can't hang out just to like study stuff. And it's not even stuff for like my work. It's just stuff for like my life. Like I'll read psychology textbooks or anything that is adding to me, which is literally everything. I'm like a sponge, right? And there's a cost to it. There's a social cost. And then when I think about that person that reached out to me, speaking on the piece that he sees that I apparently have, it's like, I'm sure that person would be willing to pay the price for peace compared to how they feel now. But sometimes when you're on the journey for that greater sense of peace in your life and purpose, the pain that you feel during that journey, it's going to be different than the pain that you felt being idle. And that's scary because it's just like being a victim of abuse. You know how that pain feels, and you know what it's like to wake up and go to sleep with that pain. And a different sort of pain, it's you don't trust it. It's so weird. It's like Stockholm syndrome in a way where you start building a relationship with the pain you're used to. And so someone from outside looking in at people that have a peace and then they know what it costs to gain that peace, they'll be like, I'd be willing to pay that. But then when they start going on the journey and they start experiencing this new sort of phenomenon, this feeling in them where they're like, this hurts a different sort of way. This is touching on things that haven't been touched on in years. It's terrifying. It's really terrifying, right? And that's, I think a lot of people quit. And a lot of people that are so down and out, it's like you can't even, when they experience that new sort of pain, I think they probably just give up because they can't really see a point. One of my friends, I'm in a group chat with my old death metal band group. I love them. I still qualify them as some of my best friends on earth. Man, I love them so much. And we have very different beliefs, some of us. And nevertheless, we have a discussion. And one of them posted a video in there of Trevor, this guy who was in this death metal band called, I think it's Black Dahlia Murder. And he committed suicide. And it was an interview with him, or he was streaming or something. And it was like dropping clues of how depressed he really was, right? And he was talking about how he's like on this journey to self-betterment and getting mentally healthy. And the thumbnail was all like foreboding signs of Trevor's imminent death, you know? And something he said in that interview that stuck with me was he was like, I struggle. No, he said, I don't think there is a happy ending for any of us. And when he said that, I was like, that was the main indicator to me that you're going to have problems. Because you think about this. This is why I'm really a big proponent of people picking up the Christian belief, period, as it's stated in the textbook, not as it's carried out by a lot of humans here on earth. And if you just hop on social media and like look at a lot of like Christian influencers, you'll understand why I say that. Or you probably just know why I say that anyway, because there's a huge judgmental connotation that kind of is attached to the religion itself. But if you look at the religion baseline as it's presented, it's like, I speak about it here all the time, is attaching yourself to something that's outside of logic and reason and having the belief that we're going to a place better than our current state here, and that we are shepherded by a father that is beyond our reason, and we are to strive towards the good in a manner which others may not understand, but we each have our own unique calling. And just how everything's set up in the belief system in the Bible, it's like having that versus having the belief that none of us are going to end up in a better place. That alternative is this makes it so whenever you start encountering things that are very difficult, maybe things you're familiar with that have been, the degree of severity has been cranked up in those things to like 12, beyond your, capacity to handle them. It makes it very hard to push through and find that like X factor. Because it's like, what's the point of dealing with all the challenges if we don't even have a better after this? And then you expound that in this example of this guy that's in one of the biggest death metal bands in the world at the time. It's like he has his literal dream job and he's feeling like this. Can you imagine that? That's why people that win the gold medal in the Olympics, there's a depression afterwards, because it's like they question themselves in what's next now, because they've gotten this thing that they've strived so hard for, right? A thing that a very small circle of humans in existence on this planet have ever attained. And so you have that in combination with being depressed, when a lot of the times when we're sad nowadays, we're like, if only I could get to X or Y or Z in my path, if I could get to this place in my dreams, then I'll be happy. And so when you're there already and then you feel bad, it's like, where do you go from there? Especially with the belief system of there's not a happy ending for any of us. And that touched me. I was like, that's the alternative. And when I was speaking about my friend that reached out to me through my stories and was like, "I'm happy for you. You know, you have this peace." Then I explained on the stories how there's a cost, and why the cost is worth it is because of the alternative. It's better than the alternative. Like, I used to live extremely different than I do now. And, you know, it's, I'm not going to be like one of those people where like it wasn't fun. It felt fun at the time. Like, it wasn't fun to go party and do all those things. Of course it was. If it didn't feel fun at the time, people wouldn't be doing it, you know? So it's not like I'm not like holy art thou about myself. But I know that my perception of fun at the time was not complete and it wasn't accurate, right? Um, and it's odd because once you start shifting yourself psychologically in the sense where how you perceive fun, it's on it's more full for me now. Like, I think about it, how is this going to feel tomorrow or the next day or the next day? And there's this like compound effect that I'm aware of nowadays, right? Like, if I do an activity, I'm like, how is this going to add to my life or my enjoyment? Just in regards to the big scope of my existence here on this planet. And, you know, the things that bring me purpose and peace now, they didn't when I was younger. I didn't even understand them. I thought it was, I was, I would be paying a cost in something that wouldn't feel as good than what I was doing currently, right? Like partying with all of your friends and whatnot. Feels pretty good at the time. And you compare that and you look at someone who's like isolated and alone. They use a lot of their time building things inside of them alone. That doesn't seem very attractive at the time. But then once you go through that thresher of life and find out like the fun that I was speaking on, that it's kind of hollow. It doesn't have like a carryover effect into the next days unless you just keep, we'll use partying for instance, unless you just keep drinking, right? Or keep doing the drugs or keep hanging out with the people and like continuously doing it. And then your body will give out eventually, like physically. We can't do that forever. And but if you keep on that frequency or bandwidth, you can like ride that wave for a long time. And usually over time, what I have felt is you'll start feeling it deep down. You'll be like, something's wrong. This doesn't really feel that great, you know, after so long. And you'll also like grow numb to the party vibes within you or that sort of fun. And then when you start looking at people that are isolated, you're like, I wonder how that person gets by. Like, there's like a breaking point within yourself, I feel. And man, it's hard to. Some people never get there without just like breaking themselves completely. So when I think about the cost to the peace I have now, it's like it's totally worth it compared to the alternative. Like, some of the scars I have will never go away. Like, for instance, which eye is it? Like this one? You see there's a little divot there? It's like, dude, I have an incision in my eye for metal plates to go in there, you know? That was because of my choices and my social circle and my activities at the time. And that was a result of that, who I was hanging around. Me getting jumped and almost dying, getting murdered. You know, there's a price to things. I'd rather be paying the price for peace than paying the price for something that everyone else thinks I should have. And yeah. Who's in the chat? I see someone in here. Did you have a good Christmas? I hope you did. I had a, man, it was so good. I don't know. Where should I go? It's 8:47. Hmm. I wonder if I wonder how much is going to snow today. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to be doing a vacation day today or if I'm going to like start coding here in a second. I'm trying to in my last live I was talking about how I had like a breakthrough in my I've been having these like clouds of depression and anxiety fall on me, and they were like periodical wherein I would be okay for a while, and then seems like when PM would come or when my mind would like settle, like the activities of the day would be up in here, and then when that would like depress and go away, I would like start feeling things. And at that point, like I was saying, I like was going through certain things in my life and things in my past, and I was like, there's something I haven't addressed, right? So I was like laying all these topics on the table where what it could be, and then I pinpointed it. And so I think a lot of it has to do with like um well, some of it has to do with myself like not having a partner yet at 34. So I'm gonna like going out and talking to women or whatever in person. So, you know, in this example, you would say that I would like go on my Christmas was okay. Yeah, I replied to your message. Hi, Charisse. I replied to your message. I'm glad Christmas was okay. I'm glad that's better than bad. I know you don't like Christmas. My mom doesn't like Christmas either. So I get it. But yeah, I put all the topics on the table, and then like so for the seeking a partner thing, I have to go talk to, women in order to find a partner. So I did. I talked to like I don't know how many girls. Cuz I'm someone that's so cerebral, like I can just sit inside my head all day and just think all the time and not talk to people. And it's not just women. Like I approach like strangers and stuff and say hi. And I think I can just start going into a state where I'm just thinking all the time. And I just the lack of social interactions, it affects me greater than what I preconceived. So I'm changing that. So yeah, every day I'm just gonna talk to everybody. Not everybody that I see, but a lot. And yeah, that went great. Like literally right after the live, I like did exactly what I said I was going to do. And yeah, so that's awesome. And this way, so like my first week, I'll be like, I'll have a goal of like approach like 3 people every day or something. Guy or girl, it doesn't matter. And then or like talk to one person. Actually, when you break stuff down, you should break them down like really stupid easy. So like my first goal technically would be like talk to one person this week. And I blew that out of the water. And then next week you'd increase it to talk to 5 people or something because there's a compound effect in it. You increase rapidly when you start getting these little like um getting these little victories for yourself. You start proving yourself that you can do it, right? So if I have enough courage to approach a stranger, I'd go and approach one. And then if I have enough courage to approach an attractive woman, then I could approach more, blah, 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 blah. It's like exposure therapy, right? So that's been fantastic. That journey is amazing right now. Autumn, Charisse says, Autumn, no, I watched the Taylor Swift documentary and sang her songs, and it was lovely. I'm glad. I'm glad you had a good time then. Taylor Swift documentary. That sounds fun. That's good. I'm glad that you had a good Christmas. There are a lot of people that get really challenged around Christmas. Um, it's been challenging for me before around certain years, but luckily it's came back around. I shouldn't say luckily; it's taken work. Yeah, I'm. What are you doing the rest of the day, Charisse? Huh? Are you on vacation now? Hmm. I wonder what the I wonder if you're gone. I'm no, you're on vacation till January 8th. Yeah, I haven't really decided yet if I want to take a full day today and tomorrow. I probably will. I have to go on call starting from Thursday for a week. And I have one more family Christmas to do the 30th. Someone's going to cover the on call day for me. But yeah, I think I'll probably take today and tomorrow off. Just do some art and paint. I'll probably still do martial arts and whatnot. I don't know yet. We'll see. Probably just going to start painting right after this or doing some sort of art. Probably be good for me to take vacation. It's so weird, like when you don't know you need a break till it like sometimes blows up in your face. Yeah, catch up on things you've neglected. That's where I'm at too. A little bit. I feel the same. I agree. 8:54. All right, I'm gonna get out of here, Sharice. I gotta go. I'm gonna start doing some art on that note, actually. Start cleaning up. There's still stuff all over from Christmas parties and whatnot. So yeah, I love you, and I love all of you. Anyone who ever watches this, and contact me through any of my social media contact information. And man, I hope that no matter what peace you're trying to attain, and I can't tell you how to attain it exactly. Obviously, if literally anyone would reach out to me and ask me, how do I get that? I first would obviously funnel you and be like, there are some things that only God can fix. And a relationship with God, that's going to be probably starter. And then if you're in a position where you don't believe in any of that and you don't want any of that, my advice would be, well, what do you want? Would be my question. And then you would tell me, and then I'd be like, okay, what do you perceive as what is stopping you from that or could be stopping you from that? And then you'd probably tell me some feelings you have, and then I'd be like, well, where do you think those feelings come from? And then you have to start like going through this backlog in your head of all these things. And sometimes it's very hard to find them and it's painful. And then you identify it and then just start working towards proving the statements that you are telling yourself, either consciously or subconsciously, that you cannot do X, Y, or Z, proving that wrong, or proving that something that happened to you still must affect you to this day in a way that will pull you away from where you want to be, proving that wrong. And you can either live with that mindset or you can live with the alternative and keep doing what you're doing. And, it helps when you ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? And then you look at that result and be like, I don't want that. And what I mean by that is like, what's going to happen if I just keep going at this pace, right? And you can make a mental picture of that, present it in your head, and be like, if you're really tired of feeling how you're feeling, you're like, I don't want that. I don't want to feel this in 10 years. Right? So yeah. Anyway, I hope this reaches you well. I'll be on again tomorrow, right? 8 to 8:30 a.m. or something like that. And I will check my text, Therese. You have a great day, and I love you all. Peace.